Hey gang, welcome back to Tin Man Customs, where we're getting ready to start another figure, and I think I'm going to move into working on some Power of the Primes figures. I will definitely get back to some of the Titans Return and Combiner Wars as I move forward, but I'm really digging these new Dinobots and stuff that we've got coming out, and I'm okay with them being the combiners. That's just kind of a fun little added thing. I don't really think it hurts too much the look of the figure, and they just have a nice little feel of the original toy line. Grimlock was one of my favorites as a kid, and in the cartoon he always had a blue visor, so I've already actually changed that from red to blue, and I did that to my original toy as well back in the day. And so the only problem I really have with this poor Grimlock is that he didn't come with any weapons, so I'm going to try and fix that by using another Power of the Primes figure, which is fun little homages. These little Primemaster suits are great. I love it. They're they're nice homages to all the old Pretender shells, which the Pretenders as a kid I thought was ridiculous. They were just a silly premise, but a little bit of nostalgia in there, and I really like this. Now, this is Cloudburst is the name of the armor, and little Micronus inside here, and he turns into a double-barreled blaster, which in the original toy line Grimlock had a double-barrel blaster. So I'm going to turn this guy into Grimlock's double-barrel blaster. So the second figure that came out in the original toy line of Grimlock, he was a Pretender, which was kind of odd for a Grimlock figure, but that's what his Pretender shell looked like, with a brown helmet that went over the head there, had like a mohawk on there, with a wee teeny tiny little Grimlock figure. I don't actually have this figure yet from my G1 collection, but I found photo reference enough of it online there to do the figure. So I'm going to take this guy and do some work on him to turn him into the Pretender shell Grimlock with the double barrel blaster still functional. Gonna have to do some resculpting of this and a lot of repainting, obviously. Now, the little Micronus guy that's in here, this guy turns into like a little power block, power cell sort of thing. It'll mount on the weapon there for like a power-up or something, that sort of thing. Now, a lot of these Voyager scale figures in the Power of the Primes line that are combiners come with these little, you can put them on as gauntlets, but those are the feet for the combiners. But they each come with a different enigma, is what it's called. Like, this is the Dinobot enigma, which allows them to combine. I think what I'm gonna do is paint this guy up to look like the enigma, and this can just go wherever, since it doesn't really transform or do much. So we'll use this as the Dinobot enigma, but yeah, let's go ahead and get him out of there, and we'll go ahead and get this guy all washed up and primed and start sculpting away on him. Alright, so we've got everything all primered up here and did some sculpt work. Let's get him focused. Did a lot of sculpt work on the front panel to add some of the details that Pretender Grimlock's shell used to have, with the mohawk fin and kind of the way the chest plate went together, and altered his belt some, added some extra paneling there. Gonna get him all painted up in his Pretender shell colors, while painting the back side of this to look like Grimlock's double-barreled rifle. Alright, so it's probably going to slip into some fast forward. Alright, gang, and here he is. We've got a nice Pretender Shell Grimlock. We did bring him up here a little. Made him look like the original shell as best as I could. Sculpted in a little extra detail here to change up the belt and the crotch plate. A lot of sculpting across his chest where we sanded things down and added some bulk and added the fins on the side of his shoulders and a fin on the top of the head. Tried to match the colors as best I could from the original toy and did a nice gunmetal for the rifle mode, which, you know, you can't get away from having the arms. I thought about painting gunmetal on the back of his arms to kind of hide more of that, but then I figured in the robot's shell mode here, it would look even weirder having a lot of the gunmetal on the back of it. Painted Micronus in there to look like the Enigma, the Dinobot Enigma, which is here. So painted the Micronus to look like the Dinobot Enigma there, and as far as his robot mode, I tried to think of a character that would bring the Dinobots together, and I decided to go with Wheelie. I know Wheelie's not a terribly popular character, but he was always one of the pals of the Dinobots, so I figured, why not? I'll paint him up as Wheelie there. And he does still fit inside the shell, albeit very gently. And there he is. I'm not sure if it comes out on the screen, but the orange color of Wheelie's head in there does look like a human face inside the fleshy color in there, which I like that little tidbit there. Alright, so now we got Grimlock in there with his Pretender Shell and Wheelie, and Grimlock's got his blaster. While I was working on this, I also snagged a sword from the Titan's Return Optimus Prime, which was in a translucent yellow. Painted it with my translucent red paint and a little gunmetal from the gun over here to the sword, so Grimlock can now have his sword and blaster like he had in the original toy line, which I'm very pleased with. I'm going to go ahead and put him in combine mode as best I can. I'm still missing two of the other Dinobots, but I believe the rifle will work in combine mode. The original toy line, the torso robot would come with weapons that were used as the character's rifle, but then also the same weapon was used as the combiner's weapon. So I think the same thing will work fine here. I think the sword might be too small for his combine mode, but the rifle might look just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and pause and switch that guy out.
Here we go. He's in his combine mode here. I'm just using Jazz and Shatterglass Starscream to combine him since I'm missing the other dinos, but I think the gun really works well. The sword is a little small, but I think it works. I really like this translucent red hand from Starscream attached to Slag, because Slag was the flamethrower, so he's kind of a hot hand. And wheelie fits right in here, just like the Enigma fit in there. I don't know how often I'll put him in this combined mode, but overall I think it works with a weapon, and he looks pretty cool.
Alright, so here he is. Final look of this guy. I am really happy with the way this Pretender shell turned out. Wheelie's not too bad. He works. This guy, love it. Really glad Grimlock's got his sword and has a rifle now. But fairly certain that he's probably going to stay standing next to Grimlock most of the time, because I really like the way the shell turned out. The intention was to give Grimlock a rifle, but ended up with a figure that I'm really pleased with. So let me know what you guys think. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you like what you really see here, and if you guys are interested in doing any kind of figures like this, look in the description. I always add what paint colors and any other base figures or the Avis Fix-It sculpt that I use to do any of the sculpt work. Hope you guys enjoy what you see, and always come back. I'm always putting out new videos, and thanks a lot for stopping by.